In small rooms, floor space is at a premium. So when you've got to have storage, don't add furniture. Instead, build recessed shelving between the studs. You'll get the extra space you need without sacrificing square footage. This episode of On the Fly DIY is sponsored in part by Rust-Oleum. You'll need mallet or a small sledgehammer, wood filler, stud finder, pencil, a serrated knife and a small level, measuring tape, caulk, construction adhesive and a caulk gun, trim and 4 rosettes, a piece of quarter round or shoe molding, thin 1/8 inch thick plywood, contact paper, wallpaper or shelf paper and scissors, spray paint and a drop cloth, a miter saw, a nail gun and safety glasses, shelving. I'm using recycled jalousie window panes for a more open look, but you can use wood as well. You might also need some shims, spackle, and a putty knife. First, use the stud finder to locate the studs and mark them on the wall with a pencil. You'll want to pick a place on the wall where you don't believe there will be any electrical, plumbing, or duct work. Check both sides of the wall for outlets or vents. Mark the studs as well as the upper and lower parameters of your storage space. Time to demo. Make sure everyone involved is wearing safety glasses, and I recommend a good closed-toed shoe. Use the mallet or small sledgehammer to break through the drywall and create an opening for your storage space. Keep your bashing within your marked parameter and use the serrated knife to cut right up to the edges. Measure the width between the studs for the 2x4s. Then, measure the height and depth of all 4 sides inside the space for the plywood. Use the depth measurement for the quarter round pieces, which will be used as shelf brackets. If you wait until this step to purchase the wood, you can usually get your local home improvement store to cut the pieces to size for you. Otherwise, cut the wood with your miter saw. Make sure you cut 2 quarter round pieces for each shelf you'll be installing. Since I'm putting in 4 shelves, I'm cutting a total of 8 quarter rounds. Squeeze the 2x4 in between the studs at the very top and very bottom of your space. Use the mallet to lightly tap on either end until the 2x4 is in and level. Shoot a couple of nails through the wall into the 2x4 to help anchor it in place. Cut your contact paper to size so it covers the entire back of the storage space. Apply and smooth out until no bubbles remain. Spray paint one side of the plywood, the rosettes, quarter rounds, and trim. Rust-Oleum's 2X Paint and Primer in Gloss White covers the dark shade of this reclaimed trim with only 2 coats. Use a nail gun to secure each piece of plywood up against the studs and the 2x4s. Place a rosette into each outer corner of your storage space and nail in place. Measure the space between each rosette and use your miter saw to cut the trim to size. Secure each piece of trim with a few nails. If you had to remove drywall from an existing stud, use shims to apply some bulk before nailing your trim on top. Older homes are full of surprises, like this unexpected stud running down the middle of the wall. I'll cover this up with another piece of trim. On to the shelving. Once you've figured out where you want your shelves to sit, nail in each quarter round piece on one side as a shelf bracket. Make sure the paired piece on the other side is at exactly the same height so your shelf sits level. Remove the shelves and add a little wood filler to each and every nail hole in the plywood, rosettes, trim, and quarter rounds. Use a damp paper towel to wipe away the excess and allow to dry. I refuse to spray paint inside, so here's my trick for covering little nail hole spots. Using a piece of cardboard or a paper plate as a palette, spray a little paint onto the middle, enough so it starts to pool. Then use your finger or a small brush to dab the paint onto the nail holes and blend gently. This ensures the exact same paint is used without the overspray and fumes lingering inside the house. Caulk the lines in the plywood corners between the rosettes and trim, around the quarter rounds, and between the trim and wall for a seamless finish. Place the shelving onto each set of quarter rounds and your recessed wall storage is ready to be filled. Sponsored in part by Rust-Oleum. On the Fly DIY.